Hi, my name is Jan. Welcome to Butterfly Tracks, and this is Debbie Jean from
Debbie Jean's van life scene.
Yes, and we are here to tell you some simple tricks for if you're too hot or too cold in van life. We're going to show you some things that don't take a lot of electricity to make you more comfortable in your van. We've got 15 tricks for if you're too hot, and we've got 15 tricks if you're too cold. Now the first one's way too simple. Park in the shade. Okay. I'm sure everybody knows you park in the shade. It's a list of things, and as we get farther along, they become more and more important. What you need is a straw hat with a brim, because you're going to take your own shade with you to stay cooler.
Drink cold water. And we say water because I also want to throw in there that I've been told that it is better for you to avoid alcohol if you're trying to keep cool.
Reflectix. Oh, if you're going to make your own Reflectix, when you're buying a roll of Reflectix, the grain is going up and down. But you need to make sure that the roll is tall enough that it will fit your entire window. It's not going to be too short. You can also buy window covers already for your vehicle, and they fit perfectly.
Number 6 is rain guards with vent covers for when it's raining, so that you can keep the windows cracked and keep the ventilation open.
Bug screens to go over your windows. That's something else you can order from Amazon to fit your specific vehicle.
Camping with the Illuminate over your car. 95% shade and still allow airflow.
You can face the car toward the sun and put this over most of the car. You could put it over the back hatch of a vehicle and then put some poles out, because they do have grommets on the edge of this, so you could tie it down to your car and then put some poles out to make it an awning off the back of your car.
If you don't have a white car and you've got a dark car that is attracting heat, you might want to use something else that is a light color, just to cover as much of the car as you can to reflect the sunlight. Number 9.
Fans. Lots of fans. If you're just starting out and you don't even have a power station, you can get fans that have either rechargeable USB batteries or just replaceable batteries. Let me show you my favorite one. I'm going to change this light here because I'm using this little fan for lighting.
It's our studio lighting.
Yes, that's my studio lighting. So we're going to be in the dark for just a sec here. This is a little more expensive than a lot of fans, but it has a lot of options to it. It has a remote control. You can put timers on it. It has various speeds. It also oscillates. You can also hang it like this. But this great big giant battery here,
it has the USB, and then it also has the Type-C. It looks like you can probably charge your phone from that.
Yeah, you can either charge your phone, or that's how you also charge this thing. And this lasts a long time. It's a pretty good sized battery.
So let's move on to number 10, which is a spray bottle. A simple spray bottle.
Water, misting, cool you off, cool your dog off, and take off as many clothes as you can.
And then there's the cooling blanket.
Oh, yes. It cools you off, and you can even get them for your dog. They have cooling blankets for your dog to lay on.
Air mattress versus memory foam.
I don't know if you've ever tried to sleep on an air mattress if you're camping, and it always stays cool. You wouldn't want to sleep on an air mattress if it's cold outside, because it's gonna.
Sleeping on an air mattress in the wintertime, you know, there's no way to get all of that air that's in the mattress warm. Now we're going to talk about getting cool or cold before bedtime.
Turn your motor on, put your air conditioner on, and don't just cool off the air in your vehicle. Get it so cool that everything you touch feels cold.
And now we're going to talk about facing the afternoon sun.
Any temperature transfer is going to be through glass that you have in your vehicle, so you have to kind of think about that when you're positioning your car for whatever weather it is. So if it's too hot, you put the big one in. Now this is only for camping. You put the big windshield toward the sun. You cover it on the outside with a reflective windshield cover, and you attach it with magnets. I double it, and the windshield, instead of feeling so hot you can't touch it, is actually kind of cool. Okay, now that's for camping. Now if you're just parking somewhere and you want to keep your vehicle, whatever it is, cooler, put your smallest window, if you possibly can, put your smallest window, which in a minivan, of course, would be the back hatch window, and not all those side windows facing toward the sun. Try to get parked to where you are aimed directly away from the sun, and so that the sun is only shining on your smallest window.
Is elevation.
Elevation, elevation, elevation. So I used to think, well, you know, you just go north, it's going to be cooler north. Well, a lot of times that's true. However, sometimes in the summer it can be over 100 in almost any state. For every 1,000 feet you go up, it's about 3.5 degrees cooler. So elevation is the #1 thing for keeping your rig cooler. So here it is, all dressed for the heat. Got the sunshade on the outside, double layered magnets. Got screens on the windows, and that's for privacy too, because that window is open and you can't see through. Of course, at night you would see through with the lights on. So the windows are covered, and in the back we have the back covered too. All dressed for the heat. This is how I put the windshield cover on. I've got 2 layers of it here because it really blacks it out. And I use these little magnets. I don't recommend the really strong magnets because those can pinch your finger and you're either going to rip your skin or need a scalpel to get them off if you get the really strong magnets and they clamp together on your skin. And why do I have blue instead of silver? Because you can find them when they drop on the ground. The silver ones just disappear, and they're reflective, and they'll take on green or whatever color. And they come off really easy because they have a little handle to take them off.
Now we'll talk about cold.
We're in Florida, you probably can see. So it's like 75 degrees today.
And it's green.
And it's green. It's green and fluffy, as I say. That's why, yeah, I know a lot of people like to go to Arizona, but yeah. When this video is coming out, a lot of you are still maybe even in snow. And some of these will be just the opposite of what we talked about. So when it's cold, face the windshield toward the sun and let it shine. But if you need to, put the black side out. And that will actually absorb some heat and bring a little bit of heat in. Okay, so it's really cold. You don't really want to get up, but the sun's kind of coming up. Even if it's cold outside, your windows will warm up when the sun hits it. So you might want to take those window covers off on the sun side only when it's cold. So before you go to bed, you want to turn on the vehicle and get it as hot in there as you can to where everything feels hot to the touch.
We want to drink something warm.
You kind of warm up from the inside.
This can work for in the morning for waking up, and it can work for going to bed at night. Maybe hot chocolate.
Hot toddy.
There you go. But we said we got to avoid the alcohol.
Oh, that's in the heat, though.
That was for the heat.
Maybe
so
you need to get drunk.
Time, we need to put that fireball.
Is it the opposite? I don't know.
So let's talk about your 12-volt electric blanket.
A 12-volt electric blanket is going to use less electricity than one that has a 110 plug like your house outlets. The smaller the better. Some people even use like a lap size and just put it under them. USB, anything that plugs in with USB is going to use a little less electricity than a 12-volt. And a 12-volt will use less electricity than a regular house plug 110 volt. There's a little pad that goes inside of a sleeping bag that you can put on whatever bed you have, and it is USB warming.
It sips power.
Yeah, there are 3 different levels of heat on that, and I'll have links below to all of these items.
I wanted to talk about layering blankets.
Yeah.
And using wool. I have a wool blanket. You don't want it right next to you.
Right, itchy, right?
Yeah, it's kind of scratchy, so you don't want that right up against your body, but man, it really does make a big difference. If you're going to be using butane first thing in the morning to cook with, or even if you're using a butane heater, butane does not work when the butane fuel gets too cold. Put the butane can under the covers at the foot of your bed so that it absorbs your body heat and it stays warm throughout the night. So in the morning when you get up and you get ready to make your coffee and you light it, it actually works.
You know how cold it is in the morning. You don't want to get out you don't want to get out from under the covers because now you're nice and cozy from all these other tips that we've given you. You don't want to put on cold clothes. So what you could do is the night before, put under the covers the clothes you're going to wear the next day so they're nice and toasty warm. So at least you're putting on warm clothes when you get up.
And not to mention they're not damp either.
Exactly. Okay, here's a funny one, but it's real. It might be an option for you. You can get something similar to this, only not as tall, and preferably square, but open like this so that you can cut one side of it off. So a cheap little dollar store square thing And what you're going to do is cut one side of it off, so it's a 3-sided square thing, okay? And then you can put your head in it. This is funny. You put your head in it, you put the blankets over your head, and you don't even know it's there. You don't even know it's there. You can breathe, right. Some people aren't necessarily comfortable sleeping with something, you know, like a cap on. I know I'm always aware of it when I've tried to do that if it was cold. And in that, I haven't done this yet, but I know it would work, and that might be an option for you. I think it's kind of funny, but you could still use it as a bin later. You could put blankets in it, fold them up, and still use it.
Talk about USB hand warmers by your feet or wherever you want to put them that will help keep your body heat.
And if you buy several of those, you can hold them in your hands and hold them up here to keep you warm. Put a couple of them down by your feet and stay toasty warm all night long.
Sleeping in your socks.
I didn't always think of that right away until the middle of the night when my feet are really cold. Even gloves, socks, gloves, a little cap, and that makes a big difference.
The 12-volt car heater
blows hot air. It's very low wattage, and it doesn't require a power station. It could be run off of your car, just to be sure you don't run your battery down.
Yeah. You could use that with your power bank in
the
12-volt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take the chill off in the morning, or take the chill off before climbing in, or when you climb in, and just pull it out.
The goal is to use as little electricity as possible off of either your power station, or maybe if you don't even have a power station. Again, the thing that may help you is to find a different elevation. In this case, if you're too cold and if you're up in the mountains, you might have to go down into town. Sleep at a casino or something if you're out west, or somewhere that or camp at a lower elevation. I don't really like to use any kind of propane or butane inside my vehicle. I'm in a minivan. Maybe a bigger van if you have a ceiling fan or a really great ventilation, maybe that's a possibility. That's just my personal preference. I like to use as much electric as possible. I'm sure you have some suggestions for people too, so please leave it in the comments below. Love your comments, by the way. I do read every single comment and try to respond to every single comment. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. Thanks, Debbie Jean, for helping out with this video. A lot of great tips here, and we'll see you next time. Bye.